and wait for students to join.
We only had 5 students registered. So if we're at a few minutes and no one's on yet, do we just go ahead and start?
I would say so, since the session is being recorded, just to go ahead and have it on the website for students to go in after. So I would say at about 2:02 or so, give it another minute or so. I'll go ahead and still give that welcome and turn it over. And if y'all don't mind, still going ahead and doing the presentation just so that we do have the recording.
Sounds good, thank you.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and provide that welcome. So hello, welcome to our virtual college exploration program for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by CACRO as well as StriveScan. So thank y'all for joining today. Just to provide a few reminders, you'll be able to ask any questions that you may have at the bottom of your screen. Look with the Q&A feature. Your camera and microphone are off, so since we are in a webinar format, you are able to see us as presenters, but unfortunately we're not able to see you, which is why that Q&A button is super important. This is one of just many sessions that is being offered this week by CACRO, and you can find the full schedule of events at cacro.org. And finally, this session is being recorded and will be available for you to view a little bit later within about a week, also at cacro.org. At this time, I will turn it over to our panelists today, who will be joining us for a really awesome information session about their institution.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to get my screen up here so that you guys can learn all about Wingate this afternoon. All right. So welcome again. My name is Valerie Graham. I'm one of the enrollment officers in the Office of Admissions at Wingate. I work specifically with our transfer students and our early college students. So any questions you guys have about that process, I'm more than happy to address those for you. Joining me today is Chris Ziegler. She is with our academic advising department. So I'm going to let her introduce herself real quick.
Hello, as Valerie said, I work on our academic advising department, and I do a lot of work with our transfer students, assuring you that you feel good about your credits when you come in, and choosing the right major for you. So we are definitely looking forward to sharing more about Wingate with you today.
Thanks, Chris. All right, so just a little overview of who we are and where we're at. We are a small private liberal arts institution. We are located about an hour south of Charlotte, kind of going towards the beach, towards Wilmington. And we actually have become the fastest growing university in the state of North Carolina. So we are really proud of that. That's been over the past 5 years or so. And our total enrollment is around 3,700 students, with our undergraduates making up about 2,700 of those students. During our growth, we have been able to keep our class sizes small, so that average class size is about 21 students, and our student to faculty ratio is 17:1. So if you are someone that thrives in a smaller setting, That's us at Wingate. We've got you covered there. We are also the #1 healthcare educator in our region. So in the past decade or so, we have added a lot of, in particular, graduate programs within this field. That's going to include our School of Pharmacy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, physician's assistant, and our undergraduate nursing program. They have also recently announced that we they're looking into adding a public health undergraduate major and also a master's program starting hopefully in the fall of 2021. So if that's your choice of study, we've got lots of choices for you at Wingate. And again, it's in that small setting that we really thrive in. All right, so Chris, did you want to talk about our majors today?
Yes, so we have 36 majors. As you'll see, a lot of those are in the college, Cannon College of Arts and Sciences. But we also have a pretty successful, the Byram School of Business, the Thayer School of Education, School of Sports Sciences, and that Levine College of Health Sciences. And as Valerie mentioned, we do have those graduate programs, but we also have a lot of undergraduate programs as well in the sciences. We also have the marketing is very popular, our exercise science, psychology, then the management, and those are just some of our more popular majors, but those are up and coming and growing, as well as our nursing program.
Yes, and biology is also our #1 major, is that right?
Yes.
Yep. And so that is a feeder major into a lot of those graduate programs I mentioned, but it is definitely the top major at Wingate, but still some excellent choices to choose from if you are not interested in biology. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about
yes. So
okay.
we also have 10 pre-professional programs. And again, a lot of those are in the pre-health sciences. We have pre-pharmacy, pre-med, pre-vet, pre-PA, pre-dental, pre-OT, and pre-PT. And then we also have a pre-law and pre-ministerial. And so a lot of those, again, are within our biology department, and they feed into some of those graduate programs, not only at Wingate, but other opportunities as well. We also have a variety of minors. We have 38 different minors. Each one of our majors has a minor attached to it, but then we also have some more specific minors as well. So you really do have the opportunity not only to explore an option that you really want to in your major, but to add a secondary, like a minor discipline as well.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, lots of minors to support that major, and you can get truly creative with that. And Chris is awesome at helping our students figure out what's going to work best for them. So I do want to talk a little bit about our curriculum at Wingate. So as a liberal arts institution, we do have a core curriculum, which is a certain set of classes that every student is required to take. These serve a purpose, and that is to make sure that you guys are getting the skill sets that employers are looking for once you graduate that are kind of outside of your major. So that's going to be critical thinking, writing, problem solving. In our core curriculum, we also have global perspective courses. There are 6 of those total. Is that right, Chris?
Correct.
Okay, yes. And so you are taking those skill sets I just mentioned and putting that in a global perspective focus. And so again, just hopefully making you more well-rounded student so that once you leave here, you're a more well-rounded employee for whoever you end up working for. But maybe you end up working for yourself too, and that's great as well. And if for some reason you are struggling in your classes at Wingate, we of course want them to be challenging, but not too challenging for you. Our ultimate goal is to have you succeed. And we have our Academic Resource Center on campus. This is solely there to serve you guys and help you be the best student possible at Wingate. The most popular program we have within the Academic Resource Center is our peer-to-peer tutoring. So if you're struggling in a class at all, or if you are trying to get a certain grade for a prerequisite for a graduate program, I would highly suggest going to the Academic Resource Center, signing up for tutoring sessions. And I can promise you, if you're doing that on a consistent basis, you will get the grade that you want. And on the flip side, if you are someone who is excelling at a course, your professor can actually recommend that you become a tutor for that course. They will train you in the Academic Resource Center, you get paid, and you also get to help your peers succeed. So in my book, that's a win-win because you're helping your peers while making some money too. So that's kind of cool. And then we also have our writing center. Any lab reports you guys are going to be turning in or papers, take it there a few days before it's due. The writing center is going to help you clean that up, make sure you're turning in the best grade or best paper possible for the best grade possible. And we also have disability services through there. So if you needed extra time to take a test or have someone take notes for you in class, that would be through disability services, and they'll make sure to get the accommodations that you need for that.
Another advantage to our tutoring and writing center program is it is completely free. Not every university offers these services for free, but Wingate does, because that's how important it is to us to support you academically.
Yes, thank you, Chris. I always assume that people know that, that it's all included. All right, so another big part of your experience, we talked a lot about the curriculum and the classroom experience that you're going to be having, but another big part of your education at Wingate is difference-making experiences. So these are going to be things outside of the classroom for you, more hands-on learning, hands-on training, internships. I know it's probably the #1 thing that comes to mind when students think of this, and most of our majors do require an internship. If it doesn't, we do have a career services department on campus, and similar to the Academic Resource Center, the career services department is solely there to help you guys succeed. I'm going to do you want to talk about that a little bit, Chris, the career services?
Yes, and actually at Wingate, our model is academic advising and career development. We are a joint department, so we work very, very closely with career development. And so it's really helpful not only for those of you who may be looking for internships, but our career development office will help you with resumes. They'll help you with job shadowing. If you're not quite sure about your major, we will work with them to, we have assessments that you can take. And so just another one of those perks of being a small university is career development can help you on all of those fronts.
And some other really cool opportunities are going to be research with faculty. So a great perk being a smaller institution is that you guys will have these opportunities as undergraduate students. I think a lot of times at larger institutions, you don't necessarily see these until you're at the graduate level. So that might be doing research and then taking that research and presenting it at a conference with that faculty member, or being published in an academic journal. So some really cool opportunities with our faculty members. And then service opportunities. That is a big part of our campus culture at Wingate. You will see this probably in a few class assignments, but mostly through the student organizations that you guys will be involved in. I'm going to dive into that in just a little bit, just getting involved on campus and what we offer. But the last thing I want to mention about difference-making experiences is our 2 travel programs. So we do have study abroad programs, but Winter National is one that you don't do a full semester abroad. It's like a mini study abroad. It's offered to our juniors, and you will study a certain topic for a certain country for a semester. And then at the end of that semester, you will travel to that country and you will see everything that you just learned about in person. So it's a really cool way to earn some credit. You get 2 credit hours for that. It's a 10-day trip. So another great way to travel without committing to a full semester abroad. And the cost of it is significantly cheaper than what you would normally pay for a trip like that. So great opportunity there. And then we also have our Wingage program, very similar to Winter National. but offered in your sophomore year, and it has a domestic travel component. So you're studying a certain city or state within the US, and then at the end of that semester, you will travel there, see everything in person. These trips are a tad bit shorter. You don't have to account for the long flights abroad for that. And then also, the cost of that is reduced. And so another great way to earn credit, travel, and learn. So some really cool ways to get involved, but we know that the college experience is more about the classroom and learning. Of course, that's your main goal, but you also want to have a little fun while you're on campus. So we are a residential campus. That means that our students live on campus all 4 years, most of our students do. And so because of this, our student life folks, residence life folks, they keep you guys super busy. There are plenty of ways for you guys to get involved. My one piece of information that if you take anything away from this presentation today, I hope it is that you choose an institution that you feel comfortable getting involved at that institution. The reason I say this is because there are lots of studies that have shown that a student starting at a new school, the number one indicator of that student succeeding at that school and graduating is for them to get involved in at least one thing their first semester on that campus. So just make sure that when you are touring schools, that when you set foot on that campus, it's a place that you can see yourself, yeah, I can be here, I can get involved in student organizations. And I'll plug in actually right now, if you can come for a campus visit, we are having those on our campus Monday through Friday and most Saturdays. So you guys can schedule those on our website or reach out to me and I can help schedule a campus visit for you. And then when you guys are on campus, you will be take a tour by a student tour guide, and they will talk about all the things that they're involved in. So that is, we have over 100 registered student organizations. And those are hobby-based ones to academic ones. We have 8 Greek life organizations. Our campus rec center, they do the intramural sports through there. We had over 700 students participate last year in that. And then we have our campus lake. We have 3 pools on campus, and then they just host random events. You'll get emails daily. They're going to be letting you know what's happening on campus. Another way to get involved is through our athletic program. So that's either by being an athlete or going to the games and cheering on your peers while they're playing. Another perk of us being a residential school is that everything is right there together. So you guys can just walk to the games. You don't have to worry about driving. You don't have to worry about parking. And you don't even have to worry about paying to go to the games because they're free. So all of the home games are free for you guys. And it's just going to make for more richer experience for you as a student, going to those games, getting involved on campus, just a richer, more fuller experience at Wingate. And really anywhere you choose to go, but hopefully it'll be Wingate that you choose. All right, Chris, did you want to add anything to that, or you want me to go ahead and dive into the app?
No, you did a great job. And
Okay.
The only thing I would do is echo is that a lot of students think that it's super important to like dedicate 100% to your academics, but you have to be balanced. And so Wingate does an amazing job of offering you that opportunity to be balanced.
Yeah, I think, and again, that just the combination of the two is going to help get you connected and just make for that richer experience for you, for sure. All right, so hopefully we just talked up campus. Now you're ready to apply, see if you can come to Wingate. Our application is free and it does not require an essay. So if you are interested in applying for the spring 21 term, which starts in January, or for the fall 21 term, which starts in August, that application is open. For our transfer students, we do require a minimum 2.5 cumulative GPA. As long as you have that, you will be admitted to Wingate. Once you submit your application, we ask that you send us your official transcripts from any college or university you have attended, even if it's just one class. We're going to need that transcript. And then also your high school transcript, an official high school transcript. This is more for financial aid purposes. We're not going to be using that to evaluate you on admissions, but we do need it for those financial aid purposes, and we will need it to complete your application. And then the other form is a statement of conduct. This is emailed to you once you submit your application, and you will fill out the top part of the form. You're going to send it to your current school or to the last school that you attended, and that school will complete the bottom. And from there, they will send it back to us, and it's just saying that you are leaving that school in good standing. So once we have those items, we're able to give you a decision within 2 weeks, and your decision will be emailed to you and also mailed to you. If you're accepted, you'll get a nice little packet in the mail, and your letter and your email will have your scholarships amount on there. So every student that's admitted to Wingate is awarded a merit-based scholarship, including our transfer students. This is going to be based on your cumulative GPA. So the higher that GPA, the more money you'll see from us. And those scholarships range between $15,000 and $21,000 for transfer students. And they're good for each year that you're at Wingate, up to 4 years or 8 semesters. So plenty of time to complete that degree, guys, particularly if you're coming in with an associate's degree. All right, let's see. I'm going to dive into the transfer credit process real quick, and then I'm going to turn it over to Chris to talk more about when the advising part happens for you guys. So once you've been admitted, your transcripts are sent to our registrar's office, and they will complete a transcript evaluation for you. That evaluation is going to let you know exactly how your credits are going to come over to Wingate. So whether or not it's going to come over as an elective, or it's going to be applicable to one of the major courses. Most of your credits are going to come over. They will transfer as long as they're at the 100 level. That you've earned a C or higher in that course, and you're coming from an accredited institution. If you're not sure, just email me and ask, and I can look up and see about that school for you. We will accept 64 credits max from a 2-year institution and 90 credits maximum from a 4-year institution. And once that evaluation is complete, it will be emailed to you directly from our registrar's office. If you're a community college student, you really need to let us know if you're going to be completing your AA or your AS. This is super important because if you are completing those, you will most likely, hopefully, meet the articulation agreement that we have with North Carolina community colleges. This articulation agreement, it kind of exempts you from a lot of that core curriculum that I just mentioned and most of those global perspective courses. We want to make sure that you are not taking classes that you have already taken. So again, it's super important that you let us know if you are on track to complete that degree. And all you have to do is just email me or Chris and let us know. That way we've got you in the back of our minds and know, okay, yes, this student should be meeting it. All right. You ready to take over, Chris?
I am, and Valerie's right. Meeting that articulation agreement is definitely a positive for those students who earn their associate's degree, because it does exempt you from 8 classes within our core curriculum. And so what will happen is when you're admitted, like Valerie said, we do need your transcripts. Even if you're still continuing classes, we need your initial transcript. Our registrar's office will evaluate that. And then what we'll do is we'll work with that to help you design a schedule. During every student's first semester at Wingate, our academic advising office does create those schedules, but you're going to have input. We're going to ask you about different preferences, and obviously we will be enrolling you in classes that have to do with your major. And so if you're unsure about what major you want, we have those students sometimes as well. Again, a member of our advising staff will be happy to walk you through what different options are. Some students like to know how your credits are going to transfer, and does their credits transfer better in one major than another. And those are the kinds of things that we work with Valerie to support you in that, because we know that you want to get the most bang for your buck out of those transfer credits.
Yeah, so once you have, were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was
something?
gonna say, yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
once, so our advising office is going to work with you initially, but then when you get on campus and you're enrolled and the semester starts, you are going to be assigned to work with one of our faculty advisors in a major. So whatever your major you've determined you want to do, you're going to be working with a faculty member in that area.
Yep, I was going to add that not to hesitate, just to reach out to you, to your office, or to me with questions about things. And I will most likely connect you with Chris for specific questions about classes. But once you've been admitted, that's when we will love to have a more in-depth conversation with you about what your time at Wingate will look like. Okay. Oh, cost. All right, guys. So you submitted your application, you've toured the school, you've sat through this awesome presentation, and you have decided you want to come to Wingate. And I know that a cost can be a big factor in that decision-making process. So what will happen is once you've been admitted and you have completed the FAFSA for fall of 21 is open. It opened up October 1st. For spring 21, that's been open for some time. So once we have those two items, we're able to let you know what your cost will be to come to Wingate. Private institutions, we get a bad reputation sometimes for being expensive. And that's because a lot of people will see that sticker price. If you guys are looking at Victor E here on his phone, it says that price at the top is $49,000. And that is an exorbitant amount of money to pay per year to go to school, guys. I hope you're not paying that anywhere. But no one will actually pay that at Wingate because every student is awarded some type of merit-based scholarship. And that you guys can see that on the next line there, the scholarships and grants that this student was awarded. That's gonna help bring down the cost pretty significantly for you. And then with the FAFSA, if you were awarded any additional need-based aid by completing the FAFSA, that is going to help reduce your cost as well. So this student is looking at his financial aid estimator. This is emailed to you once you've been accepted to Wingate and once you have submitted your FAFSA to us. We have those two things. We're going to email this to you automatically. And if you have any questions, if you didn't receive it, please reach out to me and let me know. I'll do some digging to see maybe if we're missing a social security number or what's going on there, because sometimes there'll be some things that can kind of hold it up. But once your scholarships and grants are listed on there, that should match your acceptance letter. If it doesn't, let me know. And then the need-based aid that you're awarded will be listed on there and your actual cost to come to Wingate. So that cost for this student is around $13,415 for the year. So that student's not paying that close to $49,000. He's actually going to be paying $13,000 for the year. This cost is for a residential student, or for this, he's a residential student in this case. And that includes everything except for books. So you don't have to worry about any additional fees for parking, no lab fees, no technology fees, kind of like an all-inclusive resort. You just got to pay for your books. So to kind of put that into perspective, no student at Wingate actually pays the same thing to come to Wingate. That's because your scholarships are going to be different and any aid you receive from FAFSA will be different. So your remaining balances are not going to be the same. Most of our residential students will pay somewhere between $11,000 and $19,000 per year. So your remaining balance will hopefully fall somewhere in that range for you, okay? Commuter students, we have quite a few transfer students who do commute. Your balance is typically going to be somewhere between $4,500 and $11,000 for the year. I've already mentioned that the transfer scholarships are up to $21,000 per year, and that can be up to 4 years or 8 semesters. You just have to maintain a 2.0 GPA. If you're not doing that, you need to talk to Chris and you need to visit the Academic Resource Center. They'll make sure to get you guys on track there. All right, so some final steps for you guys. Once you've made your decision to come to Wingate, you will submit a $300 enrollment deposit. We do not have a deadline for our deposit. For spring students, that starts in January. We ask that you submit it by November 1st, but you will still have plenty of time to submit it after that, even apply after that, since we're getting close to November 1st. And it just becomes non-refundable after that date. For our fall 21 applicants, you're going to be encouraged to submit your deposit by May 1st, but you can submit it after that if needed. It just becomes non-refundable after May 1st. And by submitting the deposit, you're just committing to us, letting us know that you're going to be joining us, and that will kind of trigger all the other offices on campus know, or let them know that you're going to be coming. And so you will start to receive communication from those offices and next steps to do and to prep you for the start of the semester. Make sure you complete your FAFSA, guys. You're doing this so that hopefully you can get some additional money from the government. It's free money that you do not have to pay back. And that's a small amount of your time just to see if you qualify for that. So I would highly recommend completing that. And then once we have that, you will get that financial aid estimator. And also, just make sure you're sending us your final transcripts. So anytime a semester ends and you have updated grades, make sure you're sending that to us. Particularly for my fall 21 students, if you're finishing your associate's degree in the summer, that window there can be tricky, particularly for Chris's office. And so we want to make sure we get those transcripts as quickly as we can, but also that we're aware if you're completing your associate's degree. You guys don't have to worry about test scores. Your transfer students, you've been there, done that. We won't need those from you. So you'll be good to go there. All right. Our contact information is up here for you. So again, if you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or to Chris. And then also there are just some great resources on the side here, some scholarship websites for you. The financial aid website is there for you. So feel free to check those out if you have some time. Chris, did you want to add anything else to the presentation?
I was going to say, as Valerie said, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can do anything to assist you within that decision-making progress, even before you make the decision or after. The academic advising office wants to do everything that we can to support you, whether it's determining where your transfer credits are best fit, or talking a little bit more in depthly about our majors or our graduate programs. Like I said, when we tell you we want you to reach out to us, we sincerely mean that, because we want this to be as seamless experience for you as possible.
Yes, and I know the transfer experience, it can get overwhelming just because students aren't sure. And I think a lot of times they do hesitate to ask those questions, but we are here to serve you guys and make sure that you are the best student you can be while you're at Wingate. So don't hesitate to reach out. All right, well, that concludes our session today. We would love to hear from you all, and hopefully we will. But I think if our CACRO facilitator, I think they have some closing remarks for you all.
And did anyone have any questions before the closing remarks?
I don't think so.
All right, well, if you do have any questions, feel free to use that Q&A feature while I do provide my closing remarks, and the panelists will definitely make sure to answer those. But thank you all so much to our panelists for that super informative presentation. I learned a lot about Wingate, so I'm sure that our students will too. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen very briefly just to provide some closing announcements. So thank you all so much for joining us today. We hope that you learned as much as I did about our institution here today. When you close out the screen, you'll see a very quick 4-question survey, and we'd appreciate any feedback that you're able to provide. As a reminder, this is just one of many sessions that are happening throughout these weeks, and you can check out the full schedule of events at cacro.org. And finally, a recording of this session, as well as all sessions that have been hosted as part of this exploration program, will be available for you to see at cacro.org. Have a wonderful rest of your day, y'all. And yeah, thank you for joining us. All right. Bye-bye, y'all.